Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Commodity Futures Report for Friday, September the 16th. Starting with the 10-year yields here. This is a monthly chart here. So from the highs in the 80s here, back from the 50s to the 80s here, we can count it down as an A and a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we can count it down as a corrective wave here. That means a couple of things. It means that we could see this move up here, move up to roughly this area, the 50-60% retracement level from those high and low here. That would be the logical sort of first step. The current move up off the low here, we're looking at that as 5 waves here. So because we'll get 5 waves here, then when we finish, we're going to get an ABC correction. We're going to get another 5. Now, that could just simply be an A and a B and a C wave up to the 50-60%. This one here will come up to roughly the 5% here. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen after that. But if we get 5 here, that means that after correction, we'll get another 5 in Elliott terms. We could end up coming down from that point, or we may need to look at this as frightening as it is, as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here, up to the 10% rather. And if we do get a larger 5 waves here, that means we're going to get a correction here and then have another 5 waves up. So that's very frightening at that point. So I don't know if we're just going to get 3 waves up or 5 waves up. I have no idea. But I do know if we do get 5 waves here, we're going to get another 5 over here. And these 5 waves that I'm counting at the moment is pretty clear. So we'll go from the monthly to the daily. So from the low here, and I'm taking it from this low, but I won't go into all of that. Another conversation, but 1 and 2 here, and then it's pretty crystal clear that it's 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, and the fourth wave, and going up for the fifth wave of third. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, up to the 5% roughly. Don't hold me to it or start throwing stuff at me again. But look, it's such a beautiful third wave here, you know. So I don't see any problem with actually getting 5 waves up here. And like I said, if we're going to get 5 waves up here, it's going to kick back and then have another 5 up. So what does that mean for inflation and all the rest of it? I don't know. You'll have to you know, get some other help on that. I don't even know as well. And I mean, I've got a few ideas, but I don't even like to think about it, to be honest. The US dollar. So with the US dollar here, we're looking at wave 3 here and 4 here and 5 here for wave 3 here, and then looking at this back as an ABC pattern here. Now, I don't have a lot of faith in this ABC pattern here, but the reason that I'm looking at it as wave 3 and 4 here is because when I look at the cable, for example, the pound here, I can look down as 1 and 2 here, nice wave 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down for the 5th wave, for the 3rd wave, and the 4th wave here. Also kind of got 5 waves up here as well, and then coming down from this point. Yes, we could look at it as wave 1 up here with an A and a B and a C here, and then, you know, and then go up from that point there. But if the US stock market is going to be moving down, then it's likely this will move down with the DAX and the FTSE and those indices, meaning the dollar should push up at that point. So I think this is on the right track here for this, meaning that this should push up here in 5 waves. So we should be able to start labeling this in the opposite direction of what we're doing the stock market at the moment with 1s and 2s, if you've been following that. It's a little bit messy in here, and I don't really want to talk about it at the moment, but if it takes that high out here, then you know you're on your way at that point. It could flick back at that point there too. Okay, so over to the gold market. So if you've been following us at the gold market, then you'll know that we've got wave 4 up here at least with wave 1 and 2. And we could look at it as 3 and 4, but we do have overlap there. So we're looking at it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then coming down for a 3rd wave here. I didn't bring up GDX, so I think I should bring up that, because that's kind of been a bit of a guiding light for this. So we've had a very clear ABC for wave 4 here, and then we've got down as wave 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2. You see how this is really overlapped here? So when I sort of do that with the gold market, this one overlapping here, that's why I've gone for 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So I think I'm just going to remove these here, or I'll put this over here and bring this down here as well, and we'll have to bring this third wave here needs to be longer than this one here, and it's starting to behave like a third wave as well, in that it's really sort of scooting along a little bit, you know what I mean? So it should be sort of something like this, I would imagine. That's how the US spot gold will play out, and that's also in line with GDX coming down into 20 or 18 or something of that nature there as well. So that's where the gold market is for the moment. And the silver market, you know, I've looked at this low here and I've tried to count 5 waves up here, but I just can't do it. You know, we could have had this as as a wave 4 to this point, but now it's falling back over here. I mean, I could sort of squeeze 5 waves out of here, but you know, it's not a very nice 4th wave here, because we've got 1 2 3 4 5, and there's 1 2 3 4 5 in here, so that all matches up. And so, but yeah, it's possible to put this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here for that, but it's probably not the case. It will probably pick up speed and come down a bit further than that now, you know. So I'm just going to remove these. It's possible, but not probable. Possible and plausible, but not probable. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure just yet about this. But anyway, we don't have the long trade, because as the long trade, I wanted the arrival, the reaction from this level, you know, the basic move to the upside here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. This is slipping here now, so we're not getting that set up over there for that. So it's not happening, you know. So anyway, it didn't make any money, but also didn't lose any, kept us safe, our strategy. So will copper follow gold lower? That's the thing with this market here. I've never really had it in a nice sort of countdown here to, you know, it's just over, this was overlapping over here, so I'd have to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then a nice, because it is a nice 3rd wave here, and the 4th wave is pulled back to the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree. So I was kind of hopeful if the US dollar had a top in it, but I don't know if I got that US dollar top there. I can count this up as 1 2 3 4 5 for here, and then an ABC here back for wave 2, and then we had little 5 waves here and this is coming down here nicely, and I have had a bit of a look at that. So we're sort of really at crossroads with this. It's not like we're long or shorter in this at the moment or anything like that, but it is sort of slipping on me a little bit. So from the low here on this one, we're counting up as 1 and 2, and I can squeeze 5 waves out of the 3rd wave. The 4th wave to the 5th wave here is a little bit dodgy. The wave 1 here is nice set of legs. 2, the 3rd wave would have to be in here, so it's not really playing out that well in this instance. You know, it's a bit short compared to the rest of it. So this is something a bit not right here. We're slipping below the 61.8%, because I was hoping we'd get a nice 3-wave move coming down here, and then we could go long from that point. So it's not over just yet, but look, I have to say it's not looking good, and if the US dollar pushes up, we're going to see further pressure here, and I think it's pretty much the same for the other stocks. So uranium here as well. There is a futures contract on the uranium, but it's a little bit hard to look at here. So this is a monthly chart for a continuous futures contract on COMEX here. So it has pumped up here quite nicely, and it's sitting at 50. So, you know, in terms of a classic trading levels pattern here, we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. Now we're looking for an ABC correction. So yeah, I mean, the normal thing is we would go long above this top here. And then if it gave us a second high here a little bit later on, like if it came down as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, well, then we would look to bring that entry down on top of that high, And then if we could, I mean, it's a little bit hard to recognize all of this trend really, but because I've put it on the daily, it's kind of just a load of dots. So I would need to get this back up onto the level here. So we'd need to have that correction, and then we'd need to get some sort of small support over here. Not to say that it can't happen, but we don't have the setup here for this just yet in all of that. So this uranium one here, it's likely that it can correct further down, and it doesn't really give, as I mentioned before, we've got a nice 5 waves here and an ABC, that's all cool, but that could be an A wave here and a B wave here. I don't really have a nice impulse wave up here. I could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but it's not looking really good, and as I've mentioned a few times, if this low gets taken out here, then it doesn't mean the end of the world, but we could have this as 1 and 2 here, and we could put this up here as 1 here and back for 2 here and things like that. But all I'm saying in terms of Elliott, it's not really giving us a nice structure at this particular point. One of the things we're always sort of looking for, if it could give us support on the closest largest number up here, but we're still a long way from that. It's not to say that it's not bullish. If the US dollar pushes high, it needs to go up in 5 waves. That's going to put a little bit of pressure on it. There's pressure all the way around, and the same for nickel as well. Off the low here, it doesn't, I can call a low in here for this, but this doesn't look like a wave 2 to me. It's rather big compared to this move here, so it's not to say that it isn't. It can still make a nice ABC pattern here for a wave 2 or wave B. So we wanted to get a classic trading levels pattern sitting on 25 here. So I need to see that push up here. I can probably count 5 waves in this little move here as 1 and 2 here, and fit would be a 3rd, 4th and 5th here, but it's sort of squashing it up. So it could be the arrival, the reaction. Still need the first high above the level, and then we'll need an ABC pattern here for this. So we're still a wee while away to be going long here, because we have to be careful this is just not a C wave here, and then we come down from that point. So we need a strong setup here for the nickel, and it's just not there yet. I understand that there's I understand the supply situation a bit better now, yeah, I still need my setup. It's this might be a setup for you, but yeah. So I mean, for me, I normally trade. I'm not trading this at the moment, but I would, if I was long. We talked about being long here and getting out here. Anyway, we get out at the level, and then we wait for the next setup. That's all. Just like getting off and on the bus, getting from A to B, from one number to the next. So I think we covered. I don't know if we covered lithium just then. Let me just go back and. So lithium, this is the daily futures continuous contract here for COMEX for this as well. That's the daily, so on the monthly, so that's pretty much it. It's pretty, I mean, in terms of Elliott, it's pretty hard to sort of read, but and then you sort of look at this, it's at the, when you put it on the daily chart, for example, one would think that it's at the top of the chart, but that doesn't mean much at all. It could still just be sort of starting off and continuing as well, but I can't really count that. I mean, I can have a stab at it, but that makes it a little bit difficult. So I was just looking to see this here is the I just did a Google search, so I just asked for the largest lithium stocks. We are looking at lithium stocks on the Australian video, so you can look at lithium stocks there. And my lithium stock situation in Australia was like, they're all pretty much moving like this as well. But you can see this volatility here. So it kind of tells me that that it's a bit toppy at this point. So I've sort of categorized the Australian lithium stocks into two sections. One of them with nice neat wave counts, and ones that are really sort of fanging it. But in both cases, they're looking a little bit sort of toppy. I'm going to go from the monthly now. We had a look at that to and I'll get to I'll do a count on this in due course now that I've found it. But just going to the daily chart here. I mean, for me, I just have my ways, and the number 3 is the major level here, and the next level down would be 200, and then going up from 3 we go to 5, up here somewhere for the next level. So for me, if we get support on top of 3, well then we'll go to 5. That's how it is. And obviously there's levels between here. I won't go into all of that. So really, I don't have support on this level yet. I mean, I would need support on that level. I won't go into the count, but it's just not there yet. I need to see it sitting up here. I need to see this number tested. This is where the risk is at this point. So this will probably sell off a bit from here. So it's just not ready, but I just thought we'd have a bit of a squizzy at that. So over to the energy sector, and with the XLE here, which I should just put in here actually. Okay, so that's good. I was thinking about this in 2 ways, as you may know. I haven't really changed. I was looking at it as a wave 3 up here. We can come back to and have this as a wave 4. That would make that wave 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 to one of these dudes here. The other side is looking at all of this as the A wave, and then up as an A, B, C for the B wave, and then down for the C wave. I don't think that's the case. I think it's more likely 1 and 2 and 1 here, and coming back for 2. Now we could have 2 here, and if that is the case, that means we can go long above that top now. But otherwise we'll need to come down here first and then go up. So that's no real sort of change in that. And the constituents for this here is the main ones here are Exxon Mobil's mobile, not mobile. They make you mobile. So we'll have a look at that, because it's doing the same sort of pattern here, just on the intraday. So this is it here on the intraday. So we could look at it as an A, B, C up here, and then come down over here for a wave 4, or we can look at it as wave 1 here, and back for wave 2 here, even though it's not there, and then up for 1 here, and then an A wave, a B wave to that high here, and then coming back for the C wave here. So this here is an A and a B and a C, and this here is down for 1, back for 2, coming down for 3, coming down for 3 and 4 eventually in here, and 5 coming down here, and then moving up from that point. So if I'm wrong, then we can go long at that green line. But what we want to try and do is just pick up some, once that wave 4's in, we could probably just do some sort of, because in the bigger picture, we just want to get 1 or 2 small positions in here, and then build some larger positions once we've got support here, and then build in through here of, build in all through these minor group 1 here for that, and subgroup 1. So, we can look at this in due course, but I'm just going to make that line nice and thin, and we need that wave 4 there, and I'll probably forget that I've talked about this. And that might all squash up on the chart and all the rest of it. But some way, we need to sort of just get, if we can see this finish off here, and then start to see a little impulse wave up here, if we can get 1 or 2 positions in here, just small ones, and then just build on it, that would be a nice comfortable way forward, but we've got to be careful of getting more downside here. That's the trick. Rightio. So that's so anyway, it could be all going up at this stage, and that brings us over to crude. So I'm just staying on the tick chart here, and that's the low down here. I won't go to my other chart and go through all that. We know that we've been looking for a big ABC down to this point, so it's possible that we've got a low in here. So I've just been counting this around a bit here, and I'm thinking that we've got 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. I have to double check that now. 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave for the third, the fourth, the fifth to make wave 1 here, and then the A wave here. And then we've got quite a very nice A, B, and C wave here, well, pretty nice anyway. We've got the 1 and 2 and nice third wave here, and the fourth wave we could probably drop over here, and I won't go into all of that, but it's there in one way, whichever way you want to look at it. We could look at that as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here perhaps, or something. But anyway, I don't want to fight over the last chocolate biscuit, so to speak. But it is a nice B wave, so an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave coming down here. So in the C wave here, I did do a little bit of a counter. I had this wave one over here, and then I put it over here, and I've just still got to kind of figure things out a little bit here. But look, if this has got to come down a little bit further here, you know, in terms, we're at the 61.8%. I haven't pulled that apart here. I haven't bothered with it, because what I'm looking for is wherever this, I mean, this could come down as 3, 4, and 5 here, to be honest, right? Could come down here, but what I'm looking for is the first impulse wave to the upside, and then the ABC correction. And if we can get that, well, then we can go long at this point, right? But we don't have that, we don't have it yet. So yeah, anyway, I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll just keep sort of scratching my head about all of this in here. And yeah, but look, generally, look at the energy sector here is looking, for crude oil at least, is looking that we could have an impulse wave of 1 here and an A and a B and a C here as an expanded flat. A little bit sort of unusual. We normally get this in the FX market, but this is just as crazy as the FX market. So yeah, that's anyway, just, we haven't got a setup, but we're just putting Humpty Dumpty together, so we'll just keep putting the pieces together and see how we go with that. Over to natural gas. Now, there's a couple of different ways we're looking at this as well. So do I need to go to the bigger picture again? I don't think so. So there's two ways. We've either got this little A wave over here, and then looking at that, and then from the A wave here going all the way over to the B wave here, and then going up for the C wave here. So that's one way of doing it. And between this A and B here, we're looking for an A wave, a B wave up here, and then a C wave down here for the B wave. So a deeper pull down here. The other point we could do here is look at this here as 1 and 2, and 3 and 4, and then going up for 5 here as wave 1 here. And as wave 1, it would pull back to wave 2 over here into this box here. So is that enough at this point? Is it possible that we could have this wave 2 sitting on this low here? Possibly, but I just don't think it's the case just yet, but I'll be mindful of that. And that means that if this top gets taken out here now at the 61.8%, then we'll run with that. But it does appear that we got 5 waves down here, so I'm thinking that we've got wave 1 here, we'll have wave 2 in here, then 3, 4, 5 to finish off at this point. And even when we get down to this point, then we still need to confirm that we're going to be going up at that point. So we're going to have to build a case for that, but I won't go into that at the moment. It's not really the best looking, because for a wave 2 here, we should have a nice 5, 3, 5 structure, and we don't really have a nice 5 waves here. It counts better as 3. So yeah, it's all a little bit messy in here, and you know, as the saying goes, if you don't know the wave count, it's probably a wave 4. But I won't go there just yet with that. Yeah, I don't have any, we don't have any long trades here for this at the moment, so probably crude would be the first one to move off at that stage. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment for that. We're probably coming in at support here. I'm going to take it from this low here rather than that spiky business in there, so that would be there. So we're sort of slipping through the 61.8% here at the moment, so I will just put that in there just to sort of show us that it's not really holding up. If we counted this up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and back for 2 here, it's possible that we could look at this as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave down here, and then go up. But we'd need to gather, you know, we'd need to get this leg here looking good as well for that. It's not there yet, you know, so nothing's here just yet. There's more likely to see more downside based on that 5-wave structure here, but I wouldn't want to short it into, you know, into a large number like this either, because, you know, the risk reward factor is slim pickings. Alrighty, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.